Well, good morning. Welcome to a beautifully sunny derby. I'm off to cover Manchester City against Arsenal in the WSL, and I'll be putting together a behind-the-scenes vlog taking you through what it's like to go up and cover a game such as this one for the Gooner Fanzine. I'll have a live blog, player ratings and post-match reaction to come, but I'll also be taking you up to Manchester, showing you around the press box and everything that there is to do on a match day, so I'll take you along for the ride. After the train up to Manchester via Sheffield, I jumped on a tram and headed down to the Etihad Stadium first, and then making the walk round the Etihad campus to the smaller Joy Stadium where the Manchester City women and academy teams play most of their fixtures. To the Etihad campus, I have to say it's very impressive around here. It's certainly the blue half of Manchester, even if on the tram down here plenty of United and City kits. I've seen plenty of Arsenal fans travelling down as well. All sorts going on around here. The Etihad just over there behind me, the main stadium of course where the men's team have played and had so much success over the years. I'm walking around to the other side of the ground to go to the Academy Stadium where the women's team play, officially the Joy Stadium now, and we're going to go and check that out. One of the constantly annoying, nerve-wracking things of being a sports journalist is going to collect your Matchday accreditation. It's always a nightmare to find that media entrance, but I was able to do so crossing over this bridge and heading into the Joy Stadium. I have to say I was really impressed by the setup. Of course, a lot of money spent around the Etihad campus. You can see the main stadium in the background there, and some of those academy pitches over to the left as well. So it was a case of finding my seat in the press box and grabbing some food as well. Always an important part of the match day. Just taking it all in, filming a bit of content, eating and drinking as well. Nice cup of tea, and then watching the players start to arrive. Always important to do this. Try and keep an eye on maybe which players have travelled, which ones haven't. You can see City out there in their very smart white suits. They had certainly come dressed for the occasion, and there as well, just starting to get my player ratings templates together, ready to go for when the Arsenal squad was announced. You can see them walking in now, and some of the first fans making plenty of noise heading into the Joy Stadium for the first time on the afternoon. And then the teams did come out, and my live blog would get underway as well. Breaking the team news, always an important part of that live blog before the warm-ups would then get underway. City coming out first, and then Arsenal shortly joining them. That's always a time to keep an eye on which players are warming up, if any perhaps aren't, if any maybe pick up a knock in the warm-up. Really important to try and be one of the first people to spot this, get that information out there if you can. Also good to see Michelle Agyemang back there with the Arsenal first team after signing her first professional contract in the week before the game. Arsenal over there warming up by their travelling fans, and I'll give the game some context because it was a big one. If City won and Chelsea lost in the evening kickoff, City would be crowned WSL champions. Arsenal were looking to win to stop City from doing so, and in turn do Emma Hayes, the Chelsea manager, a bit of a favour.
Well, good afternoon everyone. Welcome back to the Joy Stadium for one final time this season. We face Arsenal in the WSL today.
As the warm-ups continue, I would continue to put together my live blog, all of the facts and stats really building up to the game, trying to generate that anticipation, discuss the team news, discuss previous meetings between the two sides, and obviously an important discussion being the WSL title race. We had the flamethrowers before the game as we counted down to kick off. The teams coming out in front of us, and City really did try to generate a really good atmosphere, and they were able to do so. It was a game that certainly deserved one. As you can see, the teams lining up down in front of me, a great view in the press box to take those pictures. And then Arsenal in the team huddle, they were led, I think, by Katie McCabe, if I remember rightly. Then the game getting underway, City enjoyed a really strong start, and I could start to make a couple of notes on my player ratings, keep that live blog going as well. Certainly a busy start to the game, and a frantic game it was at the Joy Stadium. Lots to talk about. I tried to get some tweets out early on, looking at how City were tactically trying to influence the game, the areas Arsenal were perhaps struggling in early on, but City did take an early lead thanks to Lauren Hemp, and Arsenal found themselves on the back foot early on, but they were able to obviously come back into the game, as those of you watching now will know, and those away fans are in great voice from start to finish. Arsenal's final away game of the season. I've been lucky enough to travel to quite a few of them, but as I was talking to a few fans about, wouldn't it be great to be back on a plane heading over to Europe next season? A few snaps then from the press box, and that's half-time. Man City 1, Arsenal 0. At half-time, a real chance to get some real work done on my player ratings. Keep that live blog going then, as you can see here, going on into the second half at the Joy Stadium. Arsenal working their way back into the game quite nicely. As I reflect on my live blog, changing those player ratings, and it was Stina Blackstenius, those 2 goals to turn the game around. Incredible from the Super Swede, the Super Sub off the bench, and those Arsenal fans, plenty to sing about. They were going crazy over there in that far side, and it finished full time 2-1 to the Arsenal. Normally at full time I'll be rushing to get those player ratings out, and that's certainly what I did on Sunday. It would then be a case of going to the post-match press conferences, but this day was a little different. We were celebrating a real legend of the women's game, someone who had played for both Arsenal and Manchester City, and of course captaining the Lionesses in Steph Houghton. But before that, it was a case of filming these Arsenal players going over to the far side, and those fans, you can guess what they were singing, Contract for Stina, loud and clear to Jonas Eiderval and those Arsenal players. They want Stina Blackstenius to put pen to paper, and no surprise after those 2 late goals, but plenty of appreciation shown by those players to all of those loyal travelling fans who have followed Arsenal up and down the country this season, and certainly have been absolutely fantastic in loud voice at every game. And now it came to the chance to serenade England legend Steph Houghton, given a guard of honour, very much deserved, and there was a real compilation of various video messages from former teammates, players and family up on the big screen. It was a real emotional occasion actually at the Joy Stadium, both sets of players and fans coming together to applaud a true legend. And Kim Little afterwards presenting her with a bunch of flowers. Plenty of respect, as I say, from everyone for a player who played for Arsenal as well as City. While that was going on, a few of those Arsenal players warming down, and then the presentation continuing for Steph Houghton, who will be greatly missed. She then did a lap of honour around the ground. Finally, it was time for those post-match press conferences. We first heard from Gareth Taylor, and then Arsenal's Jonas Eiderval. It was a case of getting those tweets out with Jonas's quotes and then putting together a piece to be posted on the Gooner website. I say finally, but I was wrong. It was then time for the videos, the post-match videos. This was for YouTube with Reese Webb. We were looking back on all of the events from the game, what it meant for the WSL title race, and then looking ahead to the final round of fixtures. This was up on YouTube. Reese has written for the Gooners online edition, focusing on Arsenal women, so make sure to give that a read. And then it was just me, myself and I for that post-match TikTok video, up as a shorter, sort of 1 minute long video. And then the train home after a post-match pint. Lovely journey back through the Peak District. Made a little friend along the way as well. And back into Derby through the countryside to complete a very enjoyable day. Well, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. Thanks for coming along with me, and we'll make sure to produce a bit more of this sort of content in future.